What is going on, ladies and gents? How are you doing? Welcome back to another Black Ops Cold War commentary video, and today I'm going to be showing you people one of the best, in my opinion, and one of my favorite MP5 Rush classes on the map, Nuketown, because as you people know, I've been grinding out a lot on Nuketown for the weapon attachments and all that stuff. So anyways, let's get into this video, shall we? Now, when it comes to playing on Nuketown, using the MP5 on Nuketown is absolutely advantageous in my personal opinion. In other words, it gives you a great advantage. The only disadvantage of using this MP5 class setup is trying to do, window battles in the houses. Because the thing about 24/7 Nuketown is that doing window battles might be kind of impossible and also very, very frustrating, especially since, you can easily get beamed by a sniper in windows, because this happens to me so many times in Nuketown where I get beamed by a sniper the second I peek out the window. But with this MP5 class setup, I found quite a bit of success by being able to rush the enemies in Nuketown. However, the only downside is it depends what game mode you get put up in, because, sometimes you can get matched up against very sweaty players, so you also have to take that into consideration. Now, by using this MP5 class setup on Nuketown, I personally absolutely enjoyed, rushing the enemy, because the thing about Nuketown is that it's very easy to know when the enemy spawns flip, and the way how you know when the enemy spawns flip is by simply looking at your radar and calling in the UAV to see whether the enemies are going to spawn by the yellow house or by the green house. Now, for the first attachment for this weapon, I chose to equip on the sound suppressor just because it only has a negative 15% effective damage range compared to the agency suppressor, which has a negative 25% effective damage range. And I believe that by preserving the damage range with this weapon, by using attachments that cause the less damage range, you can be more effective with this MP5 since it has a very fast time to kill. And as for the second attachment for this weapon, in terms of barrels, I personally prefer to slap on the 9.5 rifled barrel attachment just because it has an incredible increase in 25% of the effective damage range, and it only has a decrease of 5% when it comes to sprinting moving speed. And what makes this MP5 class setup very good to use, in my opinion, is its mobility. And with this class mobility, you can easily hip fire the enemies, and the thing is, you don't even need to equip a laser attachment. I personally don't use a laser attachment on the MP5 just because I noticed that I can easily hip fire enemies without having to use, a laser attachment. As for using the underbarrel attachment with this weapon, I personally prefer to go with the foregrip just because it allows me to control the recoil with this weapon whenever I fire at the enemy, just because this weapon has quite a bit of recoil and kick to it, or maybe even a lot. It all depends on how well you're able to control the recoil with this weapon whenever you fire at enemies for medium to long distances. The difference between using the regular foregrip and the SFOD speed grip with this weapon is that the foregrip doesn't really have any cons to it, while the SFOD speed grip only has minor cons to it, meaning that it only has a negative 6% decrease in the movement speed, the shooting move speed, and the aim walking movement speed. As for using the magazines with this weapon, I chose to go with the jungle style magazine just because it has no cons to it, and you can quickly reload your weapon even though you're only going to have 30 bullets. But that still makes up for it by not having your ADS time go down. Because say for example that you choose to equip the Salvo 40 round fast magazine with this weapon, while it has a lot of great pros like being able to have 33% more magazine ammo capacity, it increases your reload quickness by 40%, it increases your max starting ammo by 33%, and it increases your ammo capacity by 33%. On the other hand, it decreases your ADS time by 25%. And I think that the ADS with this weapon gives you a split-second advantage over the enemy, over on-rushing enemies to be more specific. As for using the handle attachments with this weapon, I chose to go with the SASR Jungle Grip, simply because it increases your ADS time by 15% and it increases your flinch resistance by 80%, which is really good for when you're being shot at by enemies. You can counter the enemy's gunfire. But another great alternative handle attachment for using with this weapon is the airborne elastic wrap, which you unlock once you reach level 53 with this weapon. But of course, I'm still on that road to grinding for weapon attachments and all that stuff, so we're still pretty early into the game. We're like, 2 weeks already into the game? Because the thing about Black Ops Cold War is that it is very time consuming, to grind for all the weapon attachments, especially when you go to work and all that stuff, so you want to balance your work time with being able to play Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Because as you guys know, outside of this YouTube thing, which is mainly a hobby for me, I have an actual job in real life, which I go to, I work about 40 hours each week, so that kind of hinders my time to be able to play Black Ops Cold War during the week compared to the weekend where I have more time. But going back to the main topic, so by equipping the airborne elastic wrap, it's another great alternative to use compared to the SASR Jungle Grip, just because with the airborne elastic wrap, it increases your ADS time by 30%, it increases your flinch resistance by 90%, and you can also aim while going prone. And the only cons to using this attachment is that it decreases your shooting move speed by 10% and it decreases your sprint to fire time by only 15%. So once you reach level 53 with this weapon, you can decide whether you want to keep the SASR Jungle Grip with this weapon or equip the airborne elastic wrap. So anyways, those are all the attachments that I mentioned that I recommend using with this weapon. Now let's get into the pros of using this entire weapon class setup. So the pros of using this weapon class setup is that you can easily rush the enemy and you have a very quick fire react time, meaning that say that an enemy fires at you and you have the flinch resistance on, you can quickly react to enemy gunfire with this weapon. Another positive aspect of using this class setup is that it also has a very fast time to kill despite, having only 30 bullets. Now the only downside of using this class setup is that you're going to have to reload often whenever you fire your weapon at the enemy. But I still think you are capable of being able to kill at least 2 enemies with this weapon before you have to reload each time. The only downside also of using this class setup is trying to win window battles from across the map, because winning window battles is downright impossible with this class setup. And from my perspective, I consider this to be one of the most effective MP5 Rush class setups on Nuketown. So I think that I covered everything here in this video with this MP5 class setup, because my main strength of using this class setup is having really good ADS, being able to also reload very, very quickly and be very mobile with it, and also having the chance to be able to counter enemy gunfire as well. So anyways, ladies and gents, that's the video here. Let me know if this class setup worked out for you. If you have any other class setup, then also let me know in the comment section below. And I hope you people enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more Black Ops Cold War weapon class setups, tips, and all that stuff. So anyways, make sure to follow me on all my social medias. Link is in the description, and y'all have a good one. Thank you for watching.